Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, maybe it's good morning where you at. It's definitely morning, still morning here, but good morning, good afternoon, peace and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voices, and I'm back, with some quick updates. And man, hope everybody enjoying their Tuesday. I was actually off yesterday because I worked 7 straight days last week. So, but I still was moving and grooving. Had a very eventful weekend. Um, Sunday, I had a performance in Indiana with my cousin. We performed for Nard of Do or Die. You know the legendary group Do or Die. We performed one of the members had a single release party. He got a single called PYT, Pretty Young Thing. It's coming soon. So shout out to Nard of Do or Die. Had a lot of you know legendary Chicago members in the building under the Music Act. So we got a chance to perform. And I gave the performance, it fell in my lap, and I just gave the performance to my cousin because he just dropped his album. His album, his name is Magnificent, and the album is called Breadcrumbs. So it's an EP actually that he just released. So I'm like, man, cuz you just dropped your project, man, we need to go ahead and perform some of your joints so we could get the crowd reaction. And man, he got some joints, some serious joints for the ladies, man, that they love. They responded well to it. I performed one of the joints we got off our compilation album, Free Alliance, that we did with some good people, man, all over the country. We dropped that earlier this summer. So that's available as well. Free Alliance on all major streaming sites. So make sure you check that out. So that was Sunday. And then yesterday, when I was off, I'm working on my solo album. So I had a 5 hour block studio session. Man, got a lot recorded. Um, I got like two more songs to record, and I got a lot of mixing and mastering to do. So my solo album will be coming soon. Um, I'm not gonna release the title of it yet, but I'm looking to drop my solo album around January, and I may have I'm trying to secure a major feature on it. You know what I'm saying? So be on the look for that. I ain't gonna release that just yet. I'm in talks with some people about making that happen to get an actual major feature on my album. So be in tune, be in tune. But anyway, before we get to the title, I thought it was just interesting to note that you know, a shout out to the president, man. They've been having something going on over there in Nigeria that's very sad. Um, Black African Christians in Nigeria are being slaughtered by Islamic extremists in Nigeria. Like it's been a lot of them that have been slaughtered and unalive by the hundreds to thousands, I believe. And you know, Trump recently put out a statement to Nigeria saying, "Hey, if y'all don't stop the genocide that's going over there of Christian people, Black African Christian people, we got y'all on alert." Because they over there pleading like, "Hey, they slaughtering us. Like you can't even worship your faith without people want to take your life." And it say in the Bible, man, we'll see times like this where you can't practice your faith openly, and people will be trying to unalive you. And it's crazy that people would say that Trump is some type of racist, that he hate black people when he trying to save the lives of Black African Christian people that are being unalived by other black people. I mean, it's just asinine, man. I really think that man don't really look at color like that. And it's two reasons. It's one main reason why I think that is a good move because I mean, it's been going on for a long time. No other presidential, I mean, Joe Biden and them, they ain't do nothing about it. It was going on back then. Everybody was so up in arms about Hamas and Palestine and all of that, which we definitely needed to pay attention to. But nobody is talking about what's going on with these black Christians in Nigeria being slaughtered just for being Christian. And we live in and Nicki Minaj came out, and this is how sick our society has, and how much of a bully our society has become. Nicki Minaj came out and saluted the president for stepping in and putting Nigeria on notice. He basically said, man, I'm not going to sit back and watch people be slaughtered like this. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Trump for also bringing some peace over there to Palestine and Hamas. People were complaining and protesting about that. He actually brought some peace and a ceasefire over there, and now they don't got nothing else to say about it. It is the level of the arrangement out here for this man is insane. Like, man, y'all was complaining about that. But anyway, Nicki Minaj came out here. When we talk about this council culture, just because people disagree, Nicki Minaj came out here and gave the president a salute. She didn't come out here and say that she was a Trump supporter, but even if she did, who cares? She came out here and saluted the man for bringing awareness to black African Nigerians that are Christian that are being slaughtered. Said, salute to the president for doing that. We should be able to worship in peace, worship our God in peace, regardless if you disagree with our religious beliefs or not. We should be able to practice our faith without being unalive, man. Come on. Where's your humanity? So shout out to Nicki for that. And then you got these people that's coming out trying to cancel Nicki Minaj for speaking up and saluting the president for doing the right thing. Just because they hate this man this much. You got black people coming out talking about canceling Nicki Minaj because she gave the president a shout out. Didn't say vote for him or none of that. Just gave him a shout out for doing the right thing. If you got influence to stop people from being innocent lives, man. Black people, y'all love the motherland so much. Why you were against? I mean, even if you don't like the president, you should be able to tip your hat off to that. I'm sorry, but man, that's just the level of derangement that we living in, man. And like I said, man, Trump doing that, it sends a message because if they don't try to start bringing that mess over here in a minute, if we don't stop it worldwide, eventually you'll have extremists over here trying to unalive people just because of the faith that they practice. And I'm not in favor of any group of people, whether it be Christian, Islamic, Buddhist, Hindu. Nobody should be targeted because of what they believe, you know, who they call their God. And it's just, we can't stand for that. We have to stand up against that or to spread like a disease. We got to stand against that. So, man, shout out to Nicki Minaj, for having the the courage to speak out. And this society is so disorderly. Like, right is wrong, wrong is right, everything upside down. We gotta bring some civility back to humanity. For real, man. You can't cancel that girl because she spoke her mind in the right way, used her platform to salute humanity, basically. But anyway, I digress. Let's get to the title of the video. Emergency funds are now going to be used to partially fund SNAP benefits. And I got mixed feelings about this. Of course, I knew and I told somebody, man, on my social media that if need be, if they don't open the government back up, of course the president is going to step in and use the funds if he have to, because you can't let people go hungry. They thought he wasn't. I'm like, nah, he ain't cruel. You know what I'm saying? He just this all of this is political theater between the Republicans and the Democrats in Congress, right? All of this is political theater, but he's not gonna sit back and watch millions of Americans starve, right? So they still got this, back and forth with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party not coming to an agreement as far as the spending bill. But see, my thing is, for one, and like I said on previous videos, okay, that's cool. You got the SNAP partially funded, but what about the other people that's not getting paid? And make no mistake, that emergency fund that he using, right? That's the disaster relief fund. Man, it's hot. Hold on one second. It's burning up in here. Yeah, take this thing on sweater off. Hold on one second. I don't know how I be getting so hot so quick. Jeez. But yeah, like I said, that's an emergency fund for natural disasters. So God forbid, a natural disaster occurs, and we done wasted that money on funding SNAP benefits partially, because make no mistake, that little money is probably about what, $6 billion. It costs 9 billion to feed everybody that's on SNAP to get their full benefits. So they're gonna have to like dice it up in half. Like you ain't gonna be able to get the full just for you know, the whole month to be dispersed. So people gonna probably get half of what they normally get, and then you know when you exhaust those funds, God forbid a tornado or a hurricane or something like that, occurs, and you done spent the money over here where people could partially eat for just the month of November. And then what about December? If you don't have no agreement, you know, and that's why I was saying, man, it's like they kind of forced Trump hand on that and he folded. But what other choice did they give him? Because people will sit up here and say, like, well, he gave this money to that, he gave this money to them people. Listen, it's laws on the books where before Trump was even a president the first time, where we have obligations to certain nations that he can't go against. It's certain laws that we have to give so much money to Israel that Trump didn't have nothing to do with implementing. They decided that decades ago, and Trump just doing his presidential duty, just like the thing with Argentina. People think that he just gave them $40 billion. I had to do a little research, and no, it's a money exchange to help an ally, because their economy directly affects our economy. So he has to support our allies, and it's written, that this is part of his presidential duty to help them out. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't just give them anything. It was more of a exchange for their dollar for our dollar, and also an investment for America. So we helped them out, and also in the long run, it'll help us out. And you can't. It's so many different legality. I keep struggling with that word. Legalities, or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? It's legal situations and binding contracts to where Trump just can't take money from over here and fund the government. And I think that's another thing. And I said that on the previous video, is like part of this shutdown is to try to trap him up so he could do something that he ain't supposed to do, and then they could sue him or something goofy like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just take money from anywhere and fund the government without congressional approval. The Congress really is supposed to be over these benefits. This ain't the Trump. This ain't his duty. He's just supposed to sign it into law once Congress come to an agreement. But then there's certain laws that restricts him for doing things that he probably would like to do, like he said. Man, if when the judge came out and said you have to use these emergency contingent funds to fund SNAP, his lawyers was like, "Well, hey, tell us how we could do that legally. Pay attention to the verbiage. Pay attention to the language. We need to know how we can. Yeah, I want to fund it. I want to pay everybody. And the only thing that would be the simplest thing is if these dang old Democrats would just sign the clean resolution bill that they have signed all through Joe Biden presidency. Now, they want to say healthcare going up. Make no mistake, these provisions within Obamacare that they talking about, these are provisions that they created. They talk about it's about to expire, but they put the date in for it to expire at this particular time. So how you gonna try to rush everybody to do something that you created? Like you said, okay, this is gonna go for this long, And Trump and the Republicans are saying, and I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this because y'all know how I feel about Democrats. If the Republicans was on mess, I would say it. But it's the Democrats, bro. Like they don't want to budge on anything. And it's a clean resolution bill that doesn't have any personal interest in it. It's just straight down the middle, the bare minimum to keep the government open. That way, we wouldn't have to spend you see what I'm saying? Of course, no, he's not going to sit back and watch these people go home. Or go hungry. 42 million people in America depend on SNAP benefits, but they forced his hand to use these funds, and then they know most people don't know this information, so they just gonna blame the president. That's another thing they want to do. That's another, Jedi mind trick that they using. Oh man, since Trump got to hit government, it must be his fault. When it's all the Democrats in the Senate fault. Now Trump called for the nuclear option, which is in Senate. Even though we got majority of the people, we got majority like Republican senators over Democrats. They still have something called a filibuster. The filibuster just ensures that just because one party has majority of the vote doesn't mean that they could just do whatever they want to do. So you still have to have a certain amount of Democrats, a minimal amount of Democrats to agree. So that keeps the leverage. So neither party can just do whatever they want to do. Because then if that means, if we just got all Democrats, if they want to just put all these crazy laws into effect just because they the majority without reaching across the aisle to at least consider what the Republicans have to say or vice versa. That's why the filibuster is there to ensure that whatever party has the majority can't just run reckless and do whatever they want to do. You still have to consider both sides. So the filibuster is a good thing in theory. You know what I'm saying? But right now, the way that the Democrats are acting, they acting like some spoiled, entitled. They acting like just like some adolescents about this whole situation. So Trump is like out of frustration, like, man, Republicans, y'all can remove the filibuster. That's the nuclear option. It just opened the government up. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to put nothing in the bill. So it's a lot of back and forth because now I feel where they coming from. The Republicans are saying, well, if we do that and then the Democrats get back in office now, it's going to hurt us later on in the future because now they're going to want to make Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico states so they can try to get more votes and senators and all of that. So, man, even though it's some pros and cons to it, I was for it at first, but now I'm kind of drawn back from that because that's dangerous. If the Democrats just run reckless, we would have to make sure that man, we get everything we want done before the Democrats. And when I say we, I'm talking about sane people, Republicans and independents at this point, and sane Democrats, because you got a lot of Democrats that ain't for this nonsense, man. And all we need is five to just, hey man, let's open the government back up, and it'll be open. And then we wouldn't have to use emergency funding to make sure people can eat. You know what I'm saying? So these emergency funds are going to run out, and then they still going to be having to figure out next month what's going on. So hopefully they, but I think they need, if they do get rid of the filibuster eventually, they need to implement a law saying that if it's a government shutdown, Congress don't get paid either. If y'all gonna stop other people from getting benefits and paychecks because y'all can't come up to an understanding, then y'all don't need to get no check either. Because this is ridiculous. People going to work in the military ain't getting paid. People stressed out about if they gonna be able to feed their family. And the president that secured like $750 million out of tariff money to fund women, infant and children program, the WIC program. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know about the WIC program, that's what they give you, for women and children that are pregnant or just had a baby. They can go and get free milk, free, eggs and things of that nature. So people was against him with this tariff stuff, but he's using it to help while the government is shut down that same money to feed women and infants and children program. I mean, come on, dog. But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think, man. This is a quick update, man. I want to be able to sit down. I just been real busy, like I said. The music is starting to pick back up for me, so I've been working. But man, when I get a chance to sit down and really do some commentary on all these things and really, put some real content together, I'm gonna do that sometime this week. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. We love y'all. And until next time, we should see you soon. Peace and blessings.